So basically in this tutorial, I will be going through with you on how to use Visual Code Studio to do everything. It will save you the time of going through Git bash. It will save you the time to go through the terminal function. Um, it will save you the time to go through PowerShell, etc. So all this can be, I guess, can be sort of replaced if you were to just use Visual Studio Code. So usually if you were to create files in certain folders, you would have to go into the terminal, and then you gotta write those touch, mkdir, all this kind of issue. But there is a way you can actually create files without using all these commands. So I will just go through the easier path that I have found. Basically just go to your Visual Code Studio. As you can see, there is a little blue button on the bottom left. You can basically navigate wherever you want to go. So let's say if you go to your terminal, which is PowerShell or Ubuntu, you can use their server or host there to store files. But for now, we are just using local files. So just click on close remote connection. So this will be your current local file, right? So how do you create a folder? Basically, what you can do is you can go to your open folder, and then you can create a folder over here. So let's say I want to create a simple folder, name it as testnet. So you just go inside your folder, select folder, and inside this folder you are able to create files directly through the testnet. You don't have to go through the hard step, PowerShell, terminal, whatever, right? So what you need to do is to this button is for creating folder, which is the same as mkdir. So you can create a folder here, or you can make into like your path. So let's say I want to make a home tab. This will be your home tab, and then you can create a contact tab, contact us tab, and then you can create like another path. Let's call it maybe Q&A. So now you have created 3 tabs. You press the Control Save button. It should be inside. So you go back to the testnet, and it's all here. So it saves you the time to go to your terminal and then mkdir, etc. It will save you a ton of time if you were to use this method. Okay, like you want to create like a text folder or HTML file, just click on the one you want to create. I mean, instead of new folder, you click on new file. You create like index.html, CSS or whatever, style.css or whatever, right? So you can create here directly without going through all these commands. And then once you saved it, save, Control S, it should appear in your Q&A folder. You see? So you can create directly on Visual Studio Code. Okay, so first part we have done through. Second part we'll go through. The tutorial 2 is about creating files into your repository. Okay. So basically there are 2 ways you can do it. The first way is that you can create files directly in your local disk, and you can create repository directly into your GitHub, right? The second way is you can create a URL in GitHub, and you can make the changes directly into that URL. So in this tutorial, we will go through 2 of them, and you can pick whichever suits your style. Alright, welcome to the second tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll go through on how you can actually, create a repository and send it directly into your GitHub. So this step is what you call it as if like you don't have to create any repository URL. You can and you can just put your repository directly into your GitHub folder. Just make sure that you have logged into your GitHub. Once you are in the GitHub, let me just ensure that I do not have any other codes inside. So as you can see that we only have 2 items. There isn't any other repository in this folder, right? So what we are going to do is that we are going to basically clone everything we just created, clone it into repository, and put it directly in GitHub. So we are not creating a new URL for the repository. We'll go through the link part after this part. Okay, so first of all, just ensure that you have all these extensions, whatever, the git pull request, repositories, this one you don't really need. Just make sure you have GitHub repository, remote. I think maybe these 2 is enough, but you can follow what I got so far. So once you have all these extensions installed, next you just have to go to your terminal, go to new terminal. So this terminal is basically your path on where your folders is located at, and this is your source control, which is like whatever changes you have made, right? So if you take a look at the source control, the first repository is your own folder, meaning this is your document folder. You see, look at the link. This is the document folder you have. Basically it's your path, but we don't want that, so just close repository, and now you have a blank source control repository. So now everything is cleared. What you want to do is you want to put whatever folder is in the testnet into a repository. So now you just have to go to your terminal, new terminal, make this link into your Git repository. So just type git init. This link will be your Git repository. Okay, so basically what this does is that it captures your local link, and they sort of like gathered your computer local link file, and they are ready to be placed into your GitHub, right? And so you can, as you can see over here, in the source control, you have made some changes, right? It's already telling you that hey, you have made some changes in your local folder, and previously we do not have any repository, and you are now ready to put into the testnet, right? So the testnet folder, basically it's what the name it will be. So if your folder is whatever name, test123, your repository name will be test123. If your file name it's like testnet, and your repository name will be testnet, right? So once we have got that settled, we can commit the changes. Maybe write a message, new branch or something, right? So you just press commit, and it should be committed directly into your Git repository. So you just gotta publish branch. So this part, they will ask you whether you want to make it as a private repository or a public repository. Actually, that doesn't matter. So for me, I'll just press public. So now it is publishing a public GitHub repository into your GitHub. So now your GitHub has been published. So now if you refresh your repository, you can see there's a new testnet over here. So instead of saving the hassle to create new repository, you can directly use this method to push inside. However, if you want to delete any repository, you can't really delete it in your VSC. You still have to go into the website, scroll down to your settings, and then delete it over in the danger zone. So yeah, you can delete your repository over here. And once it's deleted, it's like losing everything, and you are unable to restore unless you have previously git cloned into your local file. So you will have a copy. or else if you delete it, it's just gonna be gone forever. And then if you take a look at what has been cloned inside, you realize that, hey, why is there only a Q&A branch, right? Where is my contact us? Where is the home page, right? Whatever folder you have created externally, without those index CSS or text files, that folder itself wouldn't be saved in your Git repository. The Git repository system only captures whatever files you have created. So if there isn't any files but only folders, okay, so to make this clear, right, folders are basically your mkdir and files is your touch, right? So for folders, like folders are blank, and for touch is there is something in touch, right? So what GitHub does is that they only capture folder that has touch files inside. They will not capture any empty folders, if that makes sense. Okay, let's say if we were to create files in the home tab, so just click on home, just make sure that you close this so that you don't confuse yourself, right? And then you create file. Okay, so just make sure that you, whenever you were to do something, right, just make sure that you click on it, click on the current folder, make sure the arrow is pointing on the right, click on create file. It will be created directly into your folder. So now I changed it to index.html, then I add something like h1. Hi. Okay, so now it's untracked, meaning that you have to commit changes for it to go through, right? So you just gotta click on source control, and then you can basically, because this is your direct folder, so you can directly commit changes. Added h1, so just commit. So this is this pop-up basically asking if you want to make unsafe changes in both your local and your GitHub. So you can just click save all or just commit changes. If you were to click just commit changes, it will just make changes in your GitHub. But for now, we will just save all and commit changes. So sync changes. Okay, make sure you click on the sync changes. And now, whenever you refresh this, it should appear. Yep. Now your home tab it can be seen, but your contact us still cannot be seen because it's a empty folder or empty mkdir, right? So that's basically how you create repository directly into GitHub, and I will go through the next tutorial on how you can create a URL in GitHub and edit it directly there. So this video will go through with you how you can create an URL in GitHub and to store files into that URL, right? So first of all, what you need to do is you need to go to your GitHub. Okay, so let's just refresh our repository, and you can see there is a green button over here. Okay, you can either navigate here or you can click on your profile and you can navigate to your repository. And there is a green button here, click on it. You can create a repository name. Let's just create it as hello world. Okay, this is like what we go through just now, so you can create it public or private, doesn't really matter. And then you can create repository. Once it's created, you realize that there are no files inside, and they tell you all these kind of steps to do it. Yeah, you can definitely follow all these steps, and you can just skip this video, or you can continue watching and find out how it actually works. So basically what you need to do is you need to copy the URL, just copy first, treat it as if like everything is brand new, right? Okay, so what you can actually do is that you can go to your source control panel. If there are any existing source, just have to click on the name like what you see in the previous video, right click and close repository. Or you can change a server again, whatever you desire, right? You can basically go to any of the hosts, and then you can go back. Maybe you have no access to WSL, so maybe you can open Git repository, and then you can refresh it. So what you need to do is you can click on clone repository. They will ask you to pick a URL, right? So your URL is already here, so you just gotta copy it, and then you can they will ask you to clone it into your personal folder. So what this does is basically they are asking you to clone a repository into your own folder, so that next time if you were to open your folder, right, there will be a file directly linked to that repository. Does that make sense? So just treat it as if like you are buying a website domain name from a shop owner, and the shop owner is asking you, okay, I have the website domain name, so where do I save it into your file, so that next time whatever you want to edit, it will be directly into your file, and then we can sync changes, right? But the sync changes part we'll go through if I have time to make another video. So what the website guy asking you is that to provide a car for them to put their URL into your place. So you just have to create a folder, or you can put it directly into your file. For me, I would just create a folder, right? Maybe I'll just create it as hello world so that it wouldn't be so confusing. Okay, so just put your repository in this destination. So would you like to open the clone repository? Open. And then you will realize that the folder is empty. So you can edit whatever changes you want to make here, and you will appear in your repository. So let's say I want to create a folder, name it as home tab. So just create another one, maybe a contact us tab. Let's just say these two, right? And then maybe we create another a subfolder, index.html, a subfolder over here. Is it as if like index.js or whatever you want to name it. So we can create whatever code we want. That just hi. You can even create a readme folder, but doesn't really matter. So now it says that the source control says that there are something needs to be changed. So you just have to commit the changes, right? Make a change. So this will be your main branch. Changed. And you press commit. And then the same message pop out. Just click save all and commit changes. And publish branch. This will be your main branch. So now your branch has been changed. So if you were to go back to your Git repository, you realize that your hello world has some of these tabs added, which what you have changed. I hope you enjoyed the video and stay safe, yeah.